Joining us at Rebel Headquarters now is Antoinette Sedillo Lopez. Great to have you here. She's running in New Mexico's 1st District, which is a solidly Democratic district, so that's good news. And it's been Democratic since 2009. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor to be here. Really excited.
Oh, thank you so much. So let's talk about your race. You had a Democratic incumbent, but she's not there anymore. So why and where does that leave this district?
Well, this district was red, actually, for many years, about 30 to 40 years, it was red. And the scary thing about that is Republicans know how to win here. And what they do is they run a woman. And I think it's really important that the nominee be a woman because the Republicans have targeted this race and they are running a woman. And what we've seen here in New Mexico is that Democrats will cross over and vote for a woman, and Republicans never return that favor. So that's a little bit of a concern about the race. But the good news is I think with our really strong, bold, progressive ideas, we can really run a strong race and we won't be Republican lights, and we'll show a really strong contrast to her. So I'm really excited about the race.
So, and I want people to understand a couple of things. First of all, Antoinette is a former law professor and is enormously qualified for this. You also have to be cognizant of some of the demographics in different districts, right? So it is 52% female, 48% Hispanic. Now that's not the end all be all. You could run someone who's not either one of those things and still win. And policy is the most important thing of all. But that's exactly why Antoinette's in this race. So tell us about your policy positions.
Well, I think that I started this race on the platform of Medicare for All because I've always felt that Medicare is a human right, and it shouldn't rely on whether you have a job or whether you have money to get health care. And so I started the race with that, and it really resonated really well with the people. I got crowds to just cheer when I was talking about Medicare for All. And then, of course, one of the things that I did very early also is I adopted the Summer of Progress, the 8 bills. And I love them because they're a bill in every area that I think is really important to this state, especially now. As you know, this is a very poor state. 1 in 3 children in New Mexico are growing up in poverty. Many families are living paycheck to paycheck. And families are also nearing bankruptcy because we have a healthcare system that puts profits before patients. And of course, the same thing with college debt. We have students that really are burdened with crippling student loan debt. So those are issues that I really bring out every time I talk. And I've gotten such a great response from the community. I feel really good about it. And I think we'll be successful with just staying bold and really talking a lot about getting money out of politics. It's the other thing that I talk a lot about, and I get a great response with that. So I just think that we're going to be able to keep this seat blue and make it deeper blue with a really bold progressive change.
So you're backed by People for Bernie Sanders, Blue America, and Justice Democrats. So that means no corporate PAC money, right?
That's absolutely right.
Okay.
And I think it's important to really maintain confidence in our system is to get it out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that way people know that you're serving them and not your corporate donors. So
exactly.
Now, let's talk about the other folks in the race, because since the incumbent stepped down and she's going to run for another position, you've got a crowded field there among the Democrats. So why you over the other Democrats?
Well, I have a very long track record of being a progressive. I'm not just saying I'm progressive because it's the cool thing right now. I've been a progressive. One of the things is I was called a lefty law professor. I've been progressive and had progressive values, progressive ideas for many years. And I've also have a track record of building things. At the law school, I was able to build clinics that continue to serve the needs in this state. We built an Innocence and Justice project to fight the failures of the criminal justice system. When our families were losing their homes, we started an economic justice clinic. We started an Indian law clinic to serve individuals who needed services. So I think when you look at my track record, it's much longer than anyone else's. And one of the other things about being a law professor is I think it's important right now. I'm very disappointed in members of Congress who aren't standing up for the Constitution that they swore to uphold and defend. And I'm disappointed by Republicans who are quitting instead of doing their constitutional duty. And I'm disappointed by Democrats who aren't really standing up. And I know that I can do that with a really loud voice. And I think I have a lot of credibility as a law professor to raise the issues of this administration, which are horrific.
Yeah, sometimes people wonder why I keep emphasizing what a great job the Just Democrats staff has done. And this is why, because they found people like you who the qualifications they were looking for is, yes, uncorrupted, but also someone who's given back to the community their whole lives, so that you have a track record. I saw that some people call you the Latina Elizabeth Warren, but I actually think Latina Bernie Sanders is more accurate. Because the reason people like Bernie is because he's been doing the same thing for 40 years. He's been standing for the same issues on the side of justice for all that time. And like you said, for 27 years, you've been doing this behind the scenes, not for the glory, not for any of that. And to have found you and made you the candidate, I think that speaks volumes. So,
well, thank you. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. And I actually, it's been a little bit uncomfortable being such a big face of this movement. But one of the things that I've learned is this movement is much bigger than me. And I think that that's important. And it's made me more able to ask for money and to ask for support and do that, because it's really not about me. It's about something much bigger.
Yeah, and by the way, let's give everybody the links so they know how they can volunteer for you or donate for you. Look, if you're building campaigns on small dollar donations, then you need those to make that happen. If you're not taking corporate cash, we have to do it together. But also, time is the most important thing. These volunteer armies are gonna run roughshod over the establishment. So make sure that you're also volunteering. Those links are in the description box below on YouTube, in the comment section on Facebook. Now I want to ask you about something in current events real quick before we run out of time. Right now, of course, Democrats did that deal for a 3-week extension of the budget. In return, they got CHIP, but they did not get DACA, and it appears they didn't fight very hard for it. I mean, that's my perception of it. What would you have done under similar circumstances?
Well, I would have voted against the extension. I think that it just gives more time to try to work out some horrific deal. I don't have any confidence in them coming up with a deal that will give the DACA students, the dreamers, what they need. And what they need is a clear path to citizenship and security. And I just can't believe that they're talking about creating a permanent second-class group of people in our country. I talk about second-class citizenship. Being an individual who would never have a path to citizenship and just living here and contributing and working, I just can't believe it. It's not right. It's not what this country was built on, and it's not what I believe. So I would not have supported it.
All right, Antoinette Sedillo Lopez, running in New Mexico. Thank you so much for joining us in Rebel Headquarters.
Thank you, Cenk. I really appreciate it.